Today we're going to be talking about the last two Jews in Afghanistan. Now the reason why I even know about this topic is that the YouTube algorithm had blessed me sometime in the last month and recommended me this video. I think it randomly hit the algorithm lottery, as many of the other comments are also people watching it in 2024. Anyway, the video is about two Jews, one called Yitzhak Levi and the other Zablon Samantov. Let me just show you the clip to introduce you to them and how funny they are. For context, there's this Romanian journalist filming for his documentary Cabal in Kabul, and he's interviewing Yitzhak, and you can just see how the conversation goes.
چند نفر بودن؟ 3 نفر. نه 2 نفر.
2 نفر. یکی تابلو میداد یکی چی میکرد؟
اما شما گفته که خوب نبودن.
این خلاص.
شما گفته که خوب نبودن. یادتون رفت؟
خب چی کنم ابو صدرالدین اومد گفت بهش گفتم شما مجله داریم اومد من بهش گفتم گفت خب زولان باز ریزنی کرد زولان گفتی بشی از اون رو شما بیا.
I love how as soon as he's mentioned, he immediately goes to cursing him, no questions asked. It's even funnier because they both live in separate wings of the same synagogue and they just argue all the time.
چرا دو میزنی زولان دیونه شدی چی بلا؟ گپ بدی نگفتم من به تو گفتم صدرالدین میگه بیا یه براش تار بزن چی دو میزنی زولان من تو چی گفتم من تو را اینو چی میگه من به تو برای تو کپی ندارم اینو دان اینجا شیشه بیادش پرسان کن اگه دان اینجا شیشه بیا پرسان کن من برای تو گفتم.
Now, I find this particularly funny because in my racial slurs video, I had like 500 comments telling me that goy isn't used as a slur, but here we can see it used pretty hilariously.
زولان دیونه شدی چی بلا؟ من بس بدی نگفتم دان اینجا شاشته اینو یه سال نان میخوره بیا من به تو بگف بدی نگفتم تو میزنی دیگه چی کار داری؟ پدر میگی، مرده میگی، زن میگی، فاش میگی، هر چی میخوای میگی. چرا بیگناه بشی تقصیر؟ اسرائیلی چی شد؟ افریقی چی شد؟ دوستی رفیقی چی شد؟ من یکی با پدرت کردم، با مادرت کردم، با برادرت کردم. تو که یکی اکبر هم برباد کردی.
Triple goy.
من گویی من نصارا من گابر من ترسا تو خوب. او یالا کار من دیگه یالا کار. من هر چی که تو میگی من هستم چی میگی داده من یالا کن تو خوب من بعد
گوش نمیکنم
من بعد سگ وارونو به جون میفته ببینی چی میگه
گوش نمیکنم
من به تو گپی ندارم میگو صددین گفتم زولان گفتی پیشه دو بره تو خواب پیشه دو بره تو به جان من میده پدر مرده و زنده فاش کنی میگی.
I speak Farsi and it's honestly funnier in Persian. I put my own translation, but obviously it won't capture all of the meaning and funniness. So that's our first introduction to both Zablon and Yitzhak. Why they are both the last Jews in Afghanistan is pretty complex, but a simple explanation is that when the Soviets invaded, most of the Jews left for occupied Palestine and other countries. Zablon stayed until 1990 when the Taliban took over, which is why he fled to occupied Palestine, but only to return after 2 months. After returning, he found Yitzhak had moved into the synagogue and they immediately hated each other and fought over who rightfully owned the land. I mean, Jews and fighting over land? Stop me if you've heard of this one before. In 1998, Yitzhak wrote to the Taliban interior minister accusing Zablon of stealing Jewish artifacts from the synagogue, to which Zablon responded by saying that Yitzhak ran a brothel and practiced sorcery, both of which are punishable by death in Afghanistan. Zablon was even quoted as saying, "I don't like to talk to him, he's the devil," and that a dog is better than him, and also that he doesn't have many complaints about the Taliban, but he has a lot of complaints about Yitzhak. Yitzhak then responded by calling him a thief and a liar. The Taliban eventually got fed up with their shenanigans and imprisoned them both, but eventually had to release them because they were being too annoying. That's got to be a first, being so annoying that the Taliban just release you from jail because they couldn't be bothered to deal with your BS. Zabulon claims that the Torah from the synagogue was stolen by the Taliban and sold on the black market whilst they were both imprisoned, but Yitzhak claims it was Zabulon. Now, if you couldn't tell, Yitzhak and Zabulon are what we call unreliable narrators. They both lie a lot. Zabulon claims he wants to reclaim the Torah for the synagogue, but he was purported to go around asking how much that the Torah might be worth at an international auction. You know, as you do about things that you do not plan to sell. There's also this B-plot about Zabulon with his wife, which is that the reason why some speculate that he won't go back to Palestine is because his wife wants to divorce him, which he doesn't want. And because in Jewish law, only a man can offer the divorce to the wife, she's just kind of in limbo and was in limbo for around 2 decades. That was until 2021 when Zabulon was evacuated due to the Taliban retaking control. And part of the deal to evacuate him was that he had to give his wife the divorce, which he did over Zoom, kind of proving that he didn't want to get that divorce if it was that easy. Yitzhak's wife also wanted a divorce. I'm starting to sense a theme here, which he blames on Zabulon, stating that Zabulon has written to my wife telling her that I have married another woman here, and that's why my wife is angry with me now. Both Zabulon and Yitzhak's wives hate them both, but obviously it's the other person's fault. Another of Zabulon's hilarious quotes about Yitzhak is, he lies. He's lying all the time. He transformed this synagogue into a brothel. He says he wants to go to Israel, but this is not true. Even if the Jews came here and tied his hands and feet and put him on an airplane, he would not go to Israel. This dirty old man has not washed himself for a full 6 months. I tell you, for 6 months. Okay, this part just cracks me up because he just had to add that last insult, because why not? When one of the Taliban officials were asked by reporters about Zabulon and Yitzhak, he apparently could not hide his grin, quoted as saying, "Yes, I remember them. They caused me a lot of problems." I feel like that's somehow an understatement. We have more videos of Yitzhak, one where he's performing this quote-unquote healing spell on this soldier's wife. And I'll just play it because it's pretty weird.
با جزره طرف قبله اشاره میکنی هر کس واقعا ما کرده باطل ما میگیم باطل طرف قبله جزره فهمیدی با ایگول میشه دوباره بمونین باتش دوباره آتش شم دوباره ترکای کنه هر کس واقعا ما کرده باطل ما میکنیم باطل طرف درست رو قبله قلبه در درست راست باز بمونه با ترکای کنه پشت سر باز بمونه با ترکای کنه دست چپ از آخر زیر دامن فهمیده شد 2 درجه که بالا شد این به پرپرک میاره گرنگ میشه.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that maybe Zabulon wasn't exaggerating when he accused Yitzhak of sorcery, because that seems very much like a spell. And the fact that he was very reluctant to have the instructions written down might indicate that he's fearful of other people finding out about what he's doing. But then again, he's doing it on video, so... Our last clip that we're going to watch is this one where Yitzhak is buying a chicken, and I just find it hilarious. I love sarcastic humor like this, if you couldn't tell. It's the basis of like 90% of my jokes. The final shot of the chicken in a plastic bag is just a pretty perfect way to end the video. The ridiculousness of just having a chicken in a plastic bag is a pretty fitting way to summarize this ridiculous video. Zabulon is still alive to this day and supposedly charges quite a large fee for interviews, but Yitzhak unfortunately passed away in 2005. So it would mean that Zabulon, staying until 2021, was the last Jew in Afghanistan. Well, not actually. There was a relative of his, an older female, who was evacuated from Afghanistan 1 month after Zabulon. So she was technically the last Jew in Afghanistan. It's kind of crazy how they were related and he never knew she existed. But anyway, that's all we have for this weird tale. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.